Hey friends, welcome back to Social Studies. We are going to start a brand new unit today. Now, we've just come back from spring break, so what better time to start something new than right now? So today we are going to talk about fables. So let's see, let's talk about this. Do you like to make up your own stories? I know my kids do. They like to tell little stories to their friends, and sometimes they tell it to our family members. People have been doing this for years. They've been making up stories and telling stories to other people for years and years and years. And people like to make up stories. So you might be going to bed one night and you might say, "Hey, Mom, can you tell me a story?" And Mom might be like, "Well, I don't have any books." Well, you can make up a story, right? People have been doing that for years and years and years. And they haven't always written them down. They just tell it. So we are going to start talking about these kind of stories where years and years ago, these stories were made up and told to people verbally or by telling them instead of writing them down. Okay. And the stories we're going to talk about are called fiction. And fiction means that they're not real, they didn't really happen. Nonfiction means it's really happening, but these stories are fiction. They didn't really happen. Okay. So let me give you a little background information about some of the stories we're going to be reading about in the next few days. Now, there was a storyteller named Aesop who lived in Greece long time ago. I'm talking like before you, before me, before your mom and dad, before your grandparents, like long time ago. let's remember, we're here in Greece. See if I can find it. Where did you go? Well, trying to find it. It's over here somewhere. My map is tiny. I can't see very well. Well, friends, I can't find Greece on here. I still can't see it. Huh. Well, oh, there it is. I found it. I was like, I can't find it. Here's Greece. It's teeny tiny. It's hard to see. So we live all the way over here. Greece, where Mr. Aesop is all the way over here. Okay. So let's get back with what we're talking about. All right. So back in his time, people didn't write storybooks. Okay. They just told the stories to one another and they passed those down from generation to generation. And so Aesop collected and told lots of these stories. He became really well known for his fables. What's a fable? Okay, so a fable is a short story that teaches you a lesson or a moral of the story. It's the lesson of the story. And fables usually have animals in them. And sometimes those animals talk. Do animals really talk? All right, so the next few days, we're going to listen to some of Aesop's fables, and we're going to talk about how these stories have a lesson to learn. So let's go ahead and get started. Put it in present mode. So, like I said, for the next few days, we're going to talk about fables and stories from Aesop. And the first one we're going to talk about is The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Okay. So let's look at this picture. What do you think's going on in this picture? I see a little boy here. I see some sheep and some grown men. This looks like maybe a farm. And if you notice, he has like a little staff right here. So he's probably a shepherd to these sheep. So he'll take care of the sheep. What do you think is going to happen in this fable? Okay, so I want you to listen very carefully today and find out if your prediction is right on what's going to happen. Well, let's see what happens in The Boy Who Cried Wolf. And guys, these, like I said, fables are very short. So we're going to look and see what happens. There was once a young shepherd boy who tended his sheep at the foot of a mountain near a dark forest. Okay, so remember, The shepherd boy tended or took care of sheep. It was lonely for him watching the sheep all day. No one was near except for 3 farmers he could sometimes see working in the fields in the valley below. So, how do you think he feels about tending the sheep? I feel lonely. Do you think you would feel lonely? I know I think I would. I mean, if you didn't have anybody to talk to and all that you had around you were sheep, you might feel a little lonely. One day, the boy thought of a plan that would help him get a little company and have some fun. So company means like somebody to talk to, but it can also mean like a company that you ran. So Walmart's a company, but he's wanting company or somebody to talk to. He ran down towards the valley crying, "Wolf, wolf!" If there really isn't a wolf, why would he say that? He's trying to get those men's attention to come to him, right? The men ran to meet him, and after they found out there was no wolf after all, one man remained to talk with the boy a while. The boy enjoyed the company so much that a few days later, he tried the same prank again, and again, the man came running to help him. So, a prank is a trick. Why does the little boy or the shepherd boy play this prank again? Yeah, he's wanting somebody to talk to again, so he's pulling the prank again. A few days later, a real wolf came from the forest and began to steal the sheep. The startled or surprised boy ran toward the valley, and more loudly than ever, he cried, "Wolf, wolf!" You think the men will come and help the shepherd boy? Let's keep reading and find out. But the men, who had been fooled twice before, thought that the boy was tricking them again. So no one came to help the boy save his sheep. Well, why didn't they come and help him? Yeah, they didn't want to fall for his pranks again. How do you think the boy feels now? Hmm. Think he might be a little scared? Now he's losing his sheep because there really is a wolf. Might also feel kind of bad that he using it as a prank before. Moral: if you often don't tell the truth, people won't believe you even when you're telling the truth. Okay, so the lesson of our story, moral of our story was, even if you don't often tell the truth, people won't believe you even when you're telling the truth. So the little boy lied to the men and told them twice that there was a wolf, and the men came running. And the first time somebody stayed behind and kept him company or talked to him. The second time they didn't stay behind. The third time he said it, they didn't believe him at all and they didn't come help him. But there really was a wolf. So you got to remember, if you lie, then when you really are telling the truth, people aren't always going to believe you. So let's talk about our little story today. I kind of just talked a little bit about it, but let's talk some more. So, was your prediction true? Like, you predicted what was going to happen in the story. Did it come true, or was it not right? Okay, so what is the shepherd boy doing at the beginning of the fable? He's tending the sheep. And how does he feel? He was lonely. What did the boy decide to do because he was lonely? He shouted wolf because he wanted some company, didn't he? What happens when a wolf really comes? The men didn't come to help him, did they? He was tricking them, or they thought he was tricking them. The people or animals in a story are called the characters of the story. Who are the characters in The Boy Who Cried Wolf? You have the shepherd boy, you have the sheep, you have the men, and the wolf. Those are your characters for this story. All right, the beginning, middle, and end events of a story are called the plot of the story. Does this illustration depict the beginning, middle, or end of the fable? Let's look at our picture here. Does this look like it's the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, or maybe the end of the story? It's probably the story, because he's kind of giggling like, ha ha ha, I tricked you, but you came. And the men came to him, but they're like, hey, that's not funny. It's probably in the middle when he was pulling the prank saying that there was a wolf, but I don't see a wolf in our picture. The setting of a story is where it takes place. What is the setting of this fable? It's at a field at the foot of the mountain near a dark forest. Do you think this fable could have taken place somewhere different? Possibly. Looks like we could have even said maybe a farm or in the field. All right, what do you think happens after the wolf came and no one helped the boy? The wolf maybe ate the sheep, or maybe they scared off the sheep. I don't know. Okay, all of Aesop's fables or stories were meant to teach a moral or a lesson about how to behave. What is the moral of this fable? Remember what I said? If you often lie, people won't believe you even when you're telling the truth. Okay, so is this story true or is it fiction? This is actually fiction because it's made up to teach you a lesson. All right, friends, you have some questions in Google Classroom. So go answer your questions and come back to, or turn it into me. I can't talk today, guys. Turn it into me, and I'll see you guys with our next fable that will maybe teach us something even better called The Maid in the Milk Pail. All right, guys, I will see y'all next time.